purpose of this literacy video is to improve note-making skills in West Calder High School. It is for pupils progressing through levels 2, 3 and 4 of the BGE. If you're listening to this and you're unsure of the level you are, ask your teacher and they'll be able to tell you. Making notes is an active process. It requires you to think. It is in fact different to taking notes, which is a passive activity. For example, copying something from a text or website doesn't develop or strengthen your thinking skills. So it's now expected that where you can, you will always avoid doing this. So you're going to be learning two things. Firstly, strategies for making what we note down easier to retain and easier to recall. And secondly, you'll learn how to make sure that the notes that you make ensure that you've demonstrated that you've understood what you've read. In school, we ask you to make notes in most subjects, on most topics, using a variety of sources. But regardless of source, topic or subject, your approach to note making should be the same because it's another transferable skill. Well-made notes help you to retain and recall information you've read. Where appropriate, they help you to organise your thoughts and opinions, and they also help you to reflect on what you've learned. However, overall, when done properly, notes confirm that you've understood what you've read. So there are 4 basic success criteria. Headings, which you should use to organise your notes. Bullet points, which you should use to reduce information into more manageable chunks. You should note keywords and expressions because this shows that you're recognising and prioritising the most important information. And last, but by no means least, you should write notes in your own words to demonstrate your understanding. Before you have a go at making your own notes, it's important that you see what effective note making looks like in action. The following task requires you to compare 2 separate examples of pupils' notes to an original piece of text and assess whether or not they meet the success criteria. Remember, you'll be called on to give a reason for your assessment. You can pause the video here to allow time for discussion. Well done if you notice that this example does not meet the success criteria. This pupil has copied exactly from the original text. Whilst we can see a heading, the main body of the notes does not prioritise key information, nor is it organised in a way that shows developed thinking. And lastly, we have no way of knowing if the learner understands what they've written down. Well done if you notice that example 2 does meet the success criteria. Like example 1, the learner has included a heading, but what comes after that is significantly different. This pupil has bullet pointed and chunked down the information into memorable bites. They've also picked out key expressions, focusing on core information rather than additional details. But what's most impressive about example 2 is the extent to which the learner uses their own words. From this, we can clearly see that they've understood what they've read. So when your teacher gives you a text that's relevant to the topic you're learning about in class that day, you should use example 2 as your model for making effective notes, following the 4 success criteria. Use headings to organise and develop your thinking. Use bullet points to chunk down information to help you recall it. Note key expressions to prioritise important information and leave out anything irrelevant, and use your own words to show that you've understood. Good luck.